once again to the session we are about to have, which is Fearlessness, Key to Self-Mastery, part of the Work-Life Balance series, because you deserve a great life. And you look around, people who support you need not be your friends, need not be your family, can even be strangers, yes. Because sometimes it's all about reaching out and trying to see, is there someone who is willing to support you? So if you're able to put aside that hesitation of whether we might be turned down, and we knock on the door, if you think you need support, please reach out. Because that is the first step you need to do when you are facing a fear, or when you are going through a crisis and you think you need to have help. Because not everyone may feel very comfortable handling the whole crisis on their own. However, at the same time, I would also like to mention here to you that those of you who are able to overcome your fear or the trauma which is causing the fear, if you're able to overcome that using your own self-counseling methodology, nothing like it, because that enables you to be strong along with the support that you would be receiving from your loved ones. So that's something I'd like you to please think about. The second one is, of course, practicing mindfulness. Every time, I think those of you who have attended my webinars before would often wonder, why does she keep repeating it? Because it is so critical. Being mindful of our existence, following a mindful existence by having a lifestyle also, which is promoting mindfulness, is very, very important for our wellness and well-being, both emotional and physical. The third step would be to use stress management techniques. Now, we all have our own methodology of coping up with stress, but I would love to know, Renu, how do you cope up with stress? Now that you are a full-time, you are a full-fledged professional, brilliant food photographer, and of course, you're also a mom of a little bundle of energy and joy. How do you cope up with stress? We would love to know that.
I have a mind that is constantly buzzing. So the best way that I found, again, going back to how I am a creative person, is I like to do something with my hands. If it might be painting, it might be doodling, or the second thing is to exercise. I've found with a constant, it's been an up and down journey with me and physically exercising. But I've realized that if I make the time for myself and my health, exercising has a tremendous potential to completely change just your thought process for the day. If you wake up and possibly walk even for 30 minutes, you feel like you've done something good, and that completely changes your mindset to a lot more positive one than if you were to wake up thinking constantly of all the thoughts that you went to bed with. It doesn't set a different tone. I'm a big proponent now of someone who should make time to exercise.
Okay, thank you so much, Renu. So we're talking again of self-care. Now, self-care, which is very, very crucial, because unless you take care of yourself, how can you expect to take care of others? So for those of us who might be slightly hesitant about looking at self-care as something not selfish, I want to assure all of you that unless we take care of ourselves, it becomes very difficult for us to take care of others. So please follow a system where you are handling your stress, you are mindful of your existence, you're looking at a strong social support, and at the same time, you are aware of what are some of the causes of your fear. Now, when we talk about the fear complex, we have some very obvious causes, which, like I mentioned earlier, in my case, was an experience now probably which is close to 30 years ago, which had happened, and which, of course, I don't feel any kind of remnants of the fear is not lingering. But yes, it did happen, and when it happened, it was because of an experience. The second one, objects. There are people who are scared of objects, including insects. And that is also very, very common. and of course, future or imagined fear. Now, there are people who are worried about the current situation, and sometimes it may not be rational, sometimes it could be the future, or it could just be imagined.
The thing is, I was not a good public speaker. I was very afraid to speak in front of the public. Like, we have a lot of speech competitions in schools, and I get selected initially. Like, I feel confident to deliver it in my class, but when I have to come in front of a large audience, I lose my confidence. I start being nervous. I start forgetting lines and everything. And now the situation has changed completely. Like, I participate in all the competitions more enthusiastically as ever before, because I have learned to overcome my fear. Because I know what people want from us. If we think from their point of view, all that they want is to hear something good and something valuable from us. There is no need of being afraid to convey what we feel is right. And I had come across come across a quote once, and that actually changed my outlook towards fear. So that quote goes like, I don't remember the whole thing, but the quote goes like, we are not actually afraid of the dark, but we are afraid of what's in it. We are not afraid of heights, but we are actually afraid of falling. We are not afraid of learning how to cycle or how to drive a motorcycle. We are afraid of losing our balance and falling. So actually, we're not afraid of the thing itself. We're afraid of the consequence that it has with it. So I have, through all these years, I have learned to train my mind to not focus on unnecessary, not focus too much on the consequences unnecessarily, and, lose the enjoyment of learning something or exploring something new. And I have learned that fear is something that I have created in my mind and that don't really exist. When fear tries to, if fear is like a fire, if we try to if we try to extinguish, sometime it might grow more stronger. So what I would like to tell is that fear is something that has been created by our minds, and it actually does not exist. And if you talk about the bravest of the people, I feel they are not people who does not have fear. Everyone has got their fear, even the bravest of the people. And what makes them different from other people, other failures, is that they have learned to face them. So fear is not actually the absence. Courage is not actually the absence of fear, but the ability to face them. And, the real courage comes when you are the only person who knows that you are actually afraid, and nobody else can understand that.
Fear is not a bad thing, unless, like you said, it is a life and death sort of situation. But I think on a day-to-day basis, our fears are more self-made and self-imposed, rather than what genuinely could be happening to you. So it takes a lot of navigating through your own thoughts and your insecurities as to why do you feel a certain way. And like you said, mindfulness is a very big part of it. So if anything, I think fear will teach you a lot more about yourself, and also teach you how much stronger or capable you are when you think about it a little bit deeply.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And as far as you're concerned, how would you how would you consider the place that you are in right now? Do you believe you have reached a platform where you have no fears, or do you still believe you have some fears to overcome?
I don't think I'm a master of fear in any way, but I'm more in a place where, yes, I do feel fearful, and that does give me physiological symptoms of possibly the heart palpitations or sweating and so on. And I allow myself to feel those emotions because I think it's only human to feel all of these things. But I still, after going through all of these emotions, I have to find a way to bring myself back, and face hardships or difficulties head on, or find a solution. Yes. but in no way have I mastered fearlessness or anything. Yes.
Do you have some strong fear yet?
Of
One
course, I
fear
think
which is still bothering you, but which you believe you don't have to face it now, or you think you will have to face it later. Is there one nagging fear? And also, if you do,
uncertain
how are you planning to overcome it?
on an everyday basis, a lot of things are genuinely out of your control. So there is a lot of uncertainty regarding myself or what my career or my personal life and things of those nature. But how you chose to believe in God rather than ghosts, you also choose to believe in good things will come rather than the worst is going to come.